Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Wednesday. I think my shirt probably looks familiar by today if you've watched the last 2 days videos. I am doing just a little bit of pre-recording here yeah, that's the way that it had to work this week. So for today's video, I thought we could actually do something just a little bit different. Today's video is just a chit chat video. I'm not talking about makeup, I'm not talking about perfume, sunscreen, hair care, any of those things today. Today I'm just going to share a little bit about my journey here on YouTube and give you guys just some advice if you are thinking of starting your own channel. I certainly do get asked from time to time if I have any specific advice for people wanting to start a channel, what I think they should invest in, what, like how to even get started with signing up with YouTube, like just lots of like little questions here and there over the years that have kind of brought me to the point where I thought maybe I should just do a video about this, and then I can reference people to this video instead of typing it all out. So I have had my channel here on YouTube for over 10 years now. So I actually started my channel in May of 2010. I was watching YouTube for at least a couple of years before that. And this was in the very early stages of YouTube, obviously. I remember actually starting to watch videos just based on the fact that I was looking for ideas for my wedding makeup. I got married in 2008, and I remember one of the people that I actually started watching first was Emily Noel. I think she's still doing videos. I honestly haven't seen one of her videos in years. I don't know why I ever stopped watching her. I think I just kind of lost the connection with her. But anyway, that was who I started on YouTube with. And I remember around 2010, Craig and I had been married for a couple years, and I didn't have Stella yet. Stella was still a couple years off, and I was just bored after work. I was working at the time I was working at a college, and I also had started my wedding planning company. And so I was working my full-time day job, I was working my full-time side gig, and I still had like a few hours left in my day to kill. And so I thought, why don't I start a channel? I have all these opinions about things, about makeup and how you should put it on and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And I thought, you know what? If these people can do this, so can I. And so I literally I started a new account, the MrKongsMom account. And by the way, my channel name, I picked it because at the time, like I said, I didn't have Stella. I had Mr. Kong though. And if you guys remember Chi the cat from back in the day, but Mr. Kong was kind of my baby at the time. And so I just thought, oh, well, I'm not like a real mom, but I'm his mom. So I went with that as my name because I was like, oh, that's cute. But I remember the very first video I did was a perfume collection video, and I just kind of took people through the perfumes that I had at the time. And I have long since, I think, deleted that video. I actually deleted a number of my earlier videos because I just didn't think that they were necessarily relevant anymore. Now, looking back on it, I do wish that I would have just maybe at least privated them so that I could have them for myself to look back on. But, whatever, hindsight. It's always 2020, right? So yeah, I literally started with the camera that I had at the time, which by the way is still the same type of camera that I'm using to this day. And it's just a Nikon Coolpix like point and shoot camera. That was what I had at the time. And I sat in front of the window in our guest bedroom at our old house, and I just sat there talking about things. And to my surprise, people subscribed. They subscribed to my channel, and I was like, this is crazy. Why would anyone care what I have to say? But I tried to do a good job of at least tagging my videos at the time so that people could search for them. That much I knew when it came to technology. But, you know, all the other stuff I was like completely clueless on. And quite frankly, I still am. But it was just amazing when people started subscribing and they left comments on my videos. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, I love connecting with people. And so I just did YouTube whenever I had a spare moment or had something to talk about. And it was so much fun. It was such a great reprieve for me at the time from my day job, which, by the way, I didn't love. At the time, I did still very much enjoy being a wedding planner. I ended up giving that up too, by the way, because, well, we don't need to get down the route of how I became a florist, but it kind of started in that realm a little bit there. But anyway, doesn't matter. We're not talking about the florist life. If you guys want a video about that, let me know. But I just kind of just had such a good time with it. And then I started kind of connecting with some other YouTubers, which was awesome. And I kept doing it. I just kept doing it. Honestly, you guys, this is the longest hobby that I've ever had in my life. Like, this is the longest time that I have ever had just this thing that I did that I found so much joy in and just loved doing. And that's amazing to me because if you know anything about me, if I don't like something, I cut it out of my life. I don't care if it means that there are maybe some people that go along with that. I am just always of the mindset of like, if you don't love something or if you're not enjoying yourself, then you move on, right? Like you just go and you do something new. But over all of these years, like, I've never stopped enjoying this process. It has definitely been infuriating in some ways. There are definitely some pros and cons, and I'll get into those here in a minute. But overall, the pros always outweigh the cons with this. And I promised myself that I would never let this turn into anything other more than a hobby. And that is still what it is to this day. I have not quit my day job. I'm not going to quit my day job. I'm thinking about changing my day job, but I would never quit it because we have bills that we have to pay. And if I'm going to be very frank with you guys, YouTube is not a money-making venture. I wouldn't get into this thinking that you are going to become some kind of an automatic millionaire like James Charles or Glam Life Guru, Tati, whatever her name is at this point. There are very few people that make it to that level. And I think that's something that you really need to keep in mind if you're going to start a channel. Is there an opportunity for you to like get on and have huge success and just blow up and be like everybody's idol? Totally. Absolutely. There's a chance. Is it the most likely scenario? No, probably not. There are some people that find success on this platform and do very well financially, but there's also a lot of people who never find any like huge success with YouTube and never make a ton of money doing this. And here's the thing, even if you are successful doing this, the variation of your income can vary so greatly that it's just not a smart idea to rely on this as your sole income. I just don't think it's a good idea. And also for me, as soon as something becomes a job that I have to do, immediately for me, it goes into the work pile and I'm like, bleh, nope. Because if this was a job, I would have probably given it up a long time ago. There is just something about something being a requirement for me that just after a certain amount of time just makes me sick of it. Like, I really thought when I was in college and I was getting my social work degree that I was gonna be a social worker for the rest of my life. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna be that one person that just breaks those odds, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna help people and it's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna change so many lives. Yeah, so 6 years into that, I was like, F this noise. There is no way that I'm gonna do this until I'm 60 years old, and I cut it off. I left social work, didn't care that I had spent a fortune on my degree. Like, I spent a fortune on my degree. I went to a small private liberal arts college that I love. I loved it then. I still think it's an amazing school now. The education that I got was life-changing. However, I'm no longer a social worker. Those skills, however, have transferred onto a lot of the other things that I've done with my life. When I was doing the wedding planning stuff, when I'm a florist, like, my people skills, I think, are my best asset. And the way that I work with people really was established with my education. So I'm very thankful for that, but I'm not social worker material, let me tell you that. If you are currently a social worker, my hat goes off to you, and I really hope that you're able to make it a lot longer than I did, because I think it is one of the most important professions that are out there. I wish it was more supported financially. Yeah, finances are a huge issue when it comes to social work, but also just by the general public. I wish it was viewed as more of a, I don't want to call it like a heroic job, but it's an important job. It's just like teachers are so important. Nurses are so important. Grocery store workers are so important. Like, this, obviously what has happened in the last year has really shown us like who the important people in our society are, right? But I don't know where I was going with all that, short of me trying to express to you that I never wanted this to be a job, and it's still not ever going to be. Do I make a little bit of money doing YouTube? Yes. Is it anything that really substantially makes an impact on our family's income? No, absolutely not. It's not substantial. It's a nice little extra boost in our income, but here's the thing. I picked kind of the expensive hobby here on YouTube. I know gaming, obviously, that can turn into like a really expensive thing, but you know, everything that I show on my channel, sure, I get things sent to me in PR, totally, which is very nice, by the way. It's wonderful to not have to spend money on something that I was planning on buying anyway to be able to review for you guys. But I don't have PR coming in the way that most big YouTubers do. Like, every once in a while, yes, and I do work with some great companies who are generous with me, but for the most part, the vast majority of what I show here on my channel is purchased by me. So it gets expensive. The money that I just spent on this Sephora haul, it was a lot of money. It was out of my pocket, right? But like, I use the money that I make here on YouTube to try to kind of reinvest into the channel. So either buying products, buying a new camera when the old one futzes out, which has happened a few times, finally breaking down and buying a ring light because my lighting was getting to be a real issue. You know, figuring out the background behind me. Obviously, it didn't spend a lot of money on this stuff because it was just stuff I kind of found around the house. And then there's a few things that I purchased specifically for the background. But, you know, like, things here and there that come up, you know, like, it requires some money to have this as a hobby and to do it. But I don't mind it. You know, the money that I make, I can certainly reinvest. And if there's anything left over, I put it in our savings account, which is great. I actually used a lot of the money when I first started getting paid with YouTube, which, by the way, took years. It wasn't until I think 2013 or 14 even that I earned my first paycheck from YouTube. And part of that was due to the fact that I just had no idea that I had to fill out a form with YouTube to get paid. And so for years, I just was like, this is fun. Never once got paid, even though I made partner with YouTube at the time pretty quickly, but I just never got paid. Once I figured that out, I was like, oh, that's all I have to do? Okay, I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. So I started getting, you know, a little bit of money here and there, but again, I'm not basing my our income off of what I make off of YouTube ever at any point in my life, because it's very fickle. And that's something that I think you should know if you want to start a YouTube channel. I think the requirements to get partnered with YouTube and to begin getting paid with AdSense are a little different now. I don't even know what those requirements are. I haven't looked into them in years, but they should be pretty easy for you to find on the website when you sign up with YouTube. But shoot, my brain. It's so like, whooping, I have a million things that I want to talk about. But yeah, it's not a lot of money, and it's not consistent. It can vary greatly from month to month. And for me, it's just a personal preference to not ever make this as any type of permanent job situation for myself, because like I said, I make what I need to live, to like help pay our mortgage, help pay our electricity, all of that stuff. That's because of my day job, which is my floral design business. So, yeah, if you're going to start it, don't start it thinking that you're going to become a multimillionaire. It's probably pretty unlikely. By the way, any sponsorships that I ever do on my channel, you guys, if you've been with me for a while, you already know this, but I typically donate the proceeds from sponsorships, and sponsorships vary greatly. There are channels with a larger following who can make, I mean, $35,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a sponsorship, right? And I'm talking people that have like 1 million subscribers or more. The sponsorships that I get, not a lot of money. It's nice to do them, absolutely, but I don't make a ton off of sponsored videos, which is why I think it's nice to just be able to donate those to the different causes. I'm an animal person, so typically if I do a sponsorship, I will either gift that money to my favorite breed specific rescue here in town, or I have some other ones that, like I've donated to the Pug Queen in the past. I like picking animal organizations because I'm kind of more of an animal person than I am a people person, which I know sounds terrible, but I don't mean it in a terrible way. It's just that, there's a lot of people giving to organizations that have, people needs, and I just prefer to support the animal organizations because I don't think they get as much of the money. So anyway, that's just my thing. But yeah, it's not a ton, but it is nice to be able to pass that along, which is honestly why I do the sponsored videos. And anytime that I take sponsored content, it has to be with a company that I already know and whose products I love. And they have to know that if the product actually ends up not working out for me, I am happy to just not do the sponsored video and just not say anything, but I will never come on camera telling you to buy something that I don't actually love myself. So please know that. In terms of what I think you should maybe invest in if you're thinking about starting a channel, I would start out real easy. I mean, you can use your camera phone, and I was gonna hold up my iPhone, but it's downstairs charging because the battery sucks. But you can start with your iPhone or your Android. I don't know anything about Androids, but I'm sure you can film on them. And it's very easy to get a YouTube account. Obviously, you have one that you're watching me on probably. You can just convert that. I don't know that I would even tell you to start with lighting. I mean, I just got this ring light last year, and that was 10 years into doing YouTube. If I do edit my videos, which you guys know is few and far in between in terms of editing, it's with iMovie. So if you have a MacBook or if you already have a Mac desktop, then you have that. You have the editing software that you need. I would just say start with what you have and see how it goes. Because here's the thing, you could absolutely hate doing this, and the worst thing that you could do is buy like thousands of dollars worth of equipment, a fancy camera, a fancy lighting setup, Final Cut Pro. Like you could get like the Mac Daddy editing like system. You could do all those things, and you can start buying all the things for your channel. But you don't even know if you're gonna like doing this. You know, there are ups and downs with YouTube every single day. There's not a morning, not one morning where I have woken up and have looked at my YouTube comments and not had to delete something. Every single day, at the very least, after I check my work email stuff, I look through my comments because I just find that so enjoyable to read the positive comments, obviously. But there's always one jerk, or some mornings there are like 10 jerks. And I have to go through and I have to delete those comments and I have to block them from my channel. I don't mind doing that. I tell you what though, it does hurt my algorithm. The reason that you see a lot of your favorite YouTubers not deleting nasty comments from their comment section is because that is engagement, even if it's a thumbs down. And here's a lesson for you haters out there who hate watch people. If you are still watching these people's videos that you don't like and you're giving them a thumbs down and you're leaving some nasty comment, you're still giving that person engagement, which still adds to their success. So if you are in some weird way in your head, which I don't understand at all why you would try to take someone down or make someone feel bad, but if that's what you're trying to do, you're going about it the wrong way because you're actually still helping those people. The algorithm likes the engagement. So if you don't like someone, don't watch them. Don't watch them. Don't even give them a thumbs down. And this goes for there's always one person that will literally dislike my video like the very second that it goes live, which is so impressive to me to think that someone is just sitting there like, ha-ha, and like, no, thumbs down. 1, get a life. 2, stop helping my channel because it helps. I do hide the thumbs up and thumbs down because I don't think it adds anything to the YouTube experience on my channel. The comments I will just go through and delete. The comments do allow me to identify who the people are, and so then I can just go to their channel and block them. But that's a part of it. You're gonna have people saying stupid or nasty or vile things to you, and you have to learn how to deal with that. At 42, it's like, I'm like a duck at this point. Everything just rolls off my back. Sometimes I share the mean comments just to be like, get a load of this. And sometimes I just don't say anything about them at all. If I'm feeling particularly petty, I will absolutely screenshot something and put it on Instagram. You guys have seen it. I try not to be petty too much, but if I see someone just being hardcore petty for the sake of trying to be a jerk or trying to, come across as funny or witty, I will turn around and just give it back tenfold. I believe in being a nice person, but if I see you being a jerk over and over again, or if I see you saying something particularly vile or dumb, I'll give it back to you. Heartbeat. And I will show everyone what a jerk you are. Lately, I have been taking the names out, but yeah, it's something that you're going to have to get used to. And does it suck? Yeah. If you're sensitive in any kind of way, just turn the comments off altogether. Turn all of your comments off. But then that kind of defeats the purpose of the fun part of YouTube, right? Which is making connections and making friends, which is what I love about it. I love the interaction with you guys. It's so fun. I also love that I have met so many amazing people. How long have I been talking? Probably a long time. Oh, it's going to cut me off here shortly. I have made a lot of friends on YouTube over the years, people who are fellow YouTubers. Some of them have become my best friends, and I feel so fortunate for that because I wouldn't have met these people otherwise. There have also been a lot of people that I have kind of come up with over the years that my channel has not grown the way that a lot of other people's channels have. And that is because I don't do what it takes to be at the top of the game. I don't. I am not technology driven. I am not motivated to make this a thing for myself. And I like having it as a hobby. So, I am probably not the person to actually be giving you advice on this because my channel has literally grown like this. Just for having done this 10 years, I'm only at just over 44,000. It's actually probably kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. My channel just has never been a fast growth channel. And so along the way, I have had some people that I've made some connections with that have kind of just dropped me like a hot potato after I wasn't growing as quickly or successfully as they were. That hasn't been the norm, but there have definitely been some people, you know, that I've done collabs with in the past, or that I have just kind of built some friendships with, and when their channels blow up, I just don't ever hear from them again, which is fine. That's not a huge deal to me, but again, that's something that I think you should think about. If stuff like that hurts your feelings, make sure that you are aware of that. Watch out who you connect with, because some people can be a little bit problematic, obviously. You know, just be careful who you make your connections with, and make sure that you get to know these people and that you can really trust them. I think that that is important as well. But there's so many pluses, you guys. There are downsides. There are ups and downs for anything that you do in life, right? But I think for the most part, just go into it with the attitude of, I want to like doing this, I want to enjoy this. And if you do, great. Then over the next like couple of years, you can grow your equipment, buy things as you maybe get your YouTube paychecks or whatever, and invest it back in your channel, and then grow your channel that way. But I wouldn't recommend just going like balls to the wall, like deep dive into the fancy camera, the fancy computer, no, just see how you feel about this first. But in conclusion, you know what, I think I'm gonna stop, and let me film my outro separately and show you guys some of my fancy editing. And we're back. In conclusion, guys, I've been talking for so long. I know this video is ridiculously long, but hopefully you found some helpful nuggets in here somewhere. But the main thing that I really want to do today is just to thank you guys for being here, and to thank those of you that have been here from the beginning of my channel, or kind of near the beginning, because I still recognize your names. Like when you show up in my comment section and you comment on every single, honestly, it warms my heart to think there have been so many of you that have felt such a connection with me, that you have chose to stuck around all of these years. If you've been here since 2015, if you've been here since 2019, or if you just got here 2 weeks ago and you decided to subscribe, just know how much I appreciate the engagement and the comments and the sweet words and the support and the kindness that you've offered to me through the years. I've had a lot of ups and downs in the last 10 years. A lot of them I shared with you when my brother was in his horrible motorcycle accident. So many of you were there to show me support, which, by the way, that was also like right after I found out that I was pregnant with Stella, that happened. It was kind of a crazy year for me. And you guys were there, and you were so supportive and so sweet. And even when I was like towards the middle and end of my pregnancy and I just wasn't even around for a long time, you still chose to stay subscribed. And when I came back with my videos, you came back and you welcomed Stella, and you've always been so sweet about the animals in the background. And it means so much to me. And honestly, you guys are the main reason that I stick around and that I keep doing this. You know, I don't ever want to just like disappear the way some people do. I know I joked about like, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm just going to like ride off into the sunset, but I would obviously let you guys know if that were ever to be the case. And that's just because I feel like I've built a friendship with you. Like, I don't just abandon friends, right? Like you got to tell them what's going on. And so, but right now I am still loving this, and I am loving you guys for being here and being supportive and just being an awesome part of my day. And I just hope that you know that it means the world to me. And if you decide to start a channel, I wish you the most success. I hope that you blow up and make it big, or I hope that you just enjoy the little side gig or the side hustle, or that you just enjoy doing it for the love of doing it as a hobby. I just wish happiness for you guys, and I know that you do the same for me, and it honestly just melts my heart. So I just want you to know how very, very grateful I am and have been over these last 10 plus years. It really does mean the world to me. So thanks for humoring me with today's video. I know it was a little bit different. I promise tomorrow to have kind of a fun video for you guys in terms of things. Haul coming up, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.